Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to tackle a system that sits right at the heart of modern manufacturing. And, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest hurdle in a company's digital transformation. It's called the Manufacturing Execution System, or MES for short.
Okay, let's just get right into it, because this is the big paradox that so many leaders are facing. On one hand, you've got this massive push for smart factories, for AI-driven production, all this cool stuff. But on the other hand, you've got this one system, MES, that just consistently becomes a bottleneck, a point of failure, and honestly, a source of huge frustration. So what is really going on here?
Well, the problem really starts with a fundamental misunderstanding of what an MES is even for in today's world. And that brings us to what you could call the MES paradox.
This really gets to the core of it. Look, on the left, you see the old school view. MES is just a digital clipboard, right? It's just there to track progress. But that view is so dangerously outdated. The modern reality, over on the right, is that the MES needs to be the central brain. It's the data hub for the entire manufacturing operation. It's where everything has to come together. So to really wrap our heads around this, we have to completely reframe the strategic role of MES. It's not just some other piece of software you buy, it's a critical bridge. Think of your company's systems like this. Way up at the top, you've got your ERP. That's the world of business planning, finance, inventory, all that. Then, way down at the bottom, you have what's called OT, or operational technology. Those are the systems that are physically controlling the machines, in milliseconds. MES is that essential layer right in the middle that translates between these two worlds. It connects the business plan to the physical reality happening on the shop floor.
And that connection, oh man, it's everything. It's not just about sending orders down and getting progress reports back. No. This bridge is the absolute foundation for all the big strategic goals everyone's chasing. You want to trace a part from raw material to a finished product? You need MES. You want a complete digital thread? You need MES. Real-time visibility? Yep, MES again. And maybe most importantly, if you want to do any serious AI or analytics, you need that clean, contextualized data that only a good MES can provide.
Okay, so if MES is that important, why is it so ridiculously hard to get right? Well, here's where the real complexity kicks in. You see, unlike business processes, which you can pretty much standardize globally, the physical world of manufacturing is radically different from one industry to the next. This quote just nails it. You can standardize your accounting software across the whole planet, right? But you can't standardize a factory control philosophy. The MES has to be a mirror of the physical reality of the production line itself, and that means a one-size-fits-all approach is just doomed from the start. And this table shows you just how deep those differences go. Look at automotive. The entire system revolves around an individual car, the VIN, and sequencing parts in real time down to the second. Now compare that to semiconductors, where the focus is on a single wafer going through hundreds of super precise recipe steps. Or look at chemicals, where it's all about the integrity of a batch and having strict, bulletproof audit trails. These aren't just slightly different, they're fundamentally different design philosophies.
Okay, so we've established it's complex. It's not one system, it's a bunch of different philosophies. So how do you even begin to build a successful MES foundation without getting totally lost? Well, that brings us to establishing some very, very clear rules.
Rule number 1, and if you take away only one thing from this, let it be this. The single most critical success factor, more important than any piece of technology you choose, is defining crystal clear boundaries of responsibility. You have to decide what each system is responsible for, and just as important, what it's not responsible for.
So here's the playbook. Your ERP is the official system of record. It owns the final numbers for accounting, inventory, and the ultimate go or no-go quality decision. The MES is the system of execution. It owns the detailed history, the story of what actually happened, who did it, and all the quality checks along the way. And then the control systems, your PLCs and SCADA, they own the physics, the millisecond-level control and the safety interlocks, the stuff MES should never, ever touch. Getting this division of labor wrong is the root cause of countless failed projects.
All right, rule number 2 is just as critical. It's that siren song you hear in every complex project, that urge to build the perfect system completely from scratch. This is, without a doubt, the single biggest risk in any MES implementation. So what's the smart, pragmatic, modern way to do this? It's a hybrid model.
Step 1, you start by fitting your processes to the standard functions of a core MES package. This should cover like 80% of what you do. Then, and only then, do you move to step 2. You selectively build or customize for that last 20% of processes that are truly unique to your business, the things that give you a real competitive edge. It's all about balancing standardization with strategic differentiation.
And all of this brings us to our final section, which really contains the most powerful insight of all. You know, after talking about technology and industry differences and integration rules, the real challenge isn't what you might think it is.
The true success factor isn't the technology, it's the responsibility design. The success or failure of an MES project is ultimately a test of your organization's maturity. It's about whether different teams, IT, operations, quality, engineering, can actually sit down in a room and agree on clear roles, responsibilities, and who owns what data.
I mean, when you really look at why these projects fail, it's almost never the software's fault. It's because the project was treated as just another IT project, instead of what it really is, a redesign of the entire manufacturing operating model. It's because the roles between the IT folks and the factory floor OT teams were fuzzy and never clarified. Or, and this is the big one, it's because organizational politics got in the way of making clear, tough decisions.
And that leaves us with a final question for you to think about. As you look at your own digital transformation journey, the most important thing you can ask is this: is the bottleneck you're facing really a technical problem? Or is it a challenge of organization, of collaboration, and of clear decision-making? The answer to that question, well, that's going to determine everything.